Welcome everyone, Costin here on Serious Gaming to talk about Rome Total War 2, which was announced quite recently by Creative Assembly. So here are the things I would personally like to see in Rome Total War 2. By the way, I'm playing a multiplayer, 4-player multiplayer battle in Napoleon Total War. It's a scenario battle on Waterloo. I'm playing as Michel Ney, commanding most of the French cavalry and some line infantry and artillery. So, the things I would really like to see in Rome Total War 2. In terms of multiplayer, I think most importantly it's for them to fix the lag, because there's been a massive... Personally, I've seen massive amounts of lag in Empire, Napoleon, Shogun 2, and expansions, and I would really like to see this fixed. And it's quite an annoyance to lose a battle because of, lag. And even when you do win a battle, even when things go well for you, it's still something that annoys the hell out of you. The second thing is imbalance. There's a lot of balance issues in the multiplayer of Total War games. And Creative Assembly making the units that are part of DLCs really doesn't help things. DLCs that add units to use in multiplayer really doesn't help things at all. I have, for instance, in Napoleon Total War, I have units. I have the DLCs for different units, and I feel that in a way it's pay to win. Yes, these units are not necessarily overpowered, but they do give you a certain advantage. It depends really on the situation. So these are the two things that I really think need to be focused on for multiplayer. Balance issues and lag. Lag especially. It's perhaps the most important issue with multiplayer. In regards to single player, what I feel they could do in terms of the campaigns is have campaigns for different factions set in different historical periods. Like you could have a Carthaginian campaign set in the Second Punic War, where you command Hannibal and his armies as you invade Italy. And then you could have a Roman campaign and a campaign for the Gauls as well, also set in this period. Then you have another Roman campaign and another campaign for the Gauls as Caesar is moving to conquer Gaul. I think that if Creative Assembly tries to do what they did with the original Rome Total War, as in put all the factions together in this same time period, which was horribly historically inaccurate, like the Dacians in the same period as the Macedonians under Philip, didn't happen. The Dacians were united later by Burebista, and then they fought the Romans much later under Decibel. So horrible in terms of historical accuracy. And I think that besides the Romans, they didn't do a good job with the different factions. Even the Romans had problems, like the dogs, the pigs, the power of the Roman cavalry, big problems. Well, especially the pigs. But the Gauls, being a unified people, when Caesar invaded and conquered Gaul, the Gauls were separated into different tribes. And this was something Caesar used to actually conquer the Gauls. If they had been united, he wouldn't have stood a chance against them. Rome wouldn't have stood a chance. It would have been conquered long ago by the Gauls. But the Gauls were in different tribes, and this wasn't represented at all in Rome Total War. The political infighting amongst the Romans was also represented pretty poorly by the four factions: the Senate of Rome, the Julii, Brutii, and Scipii. Pretty poorly, in my opinion. I feel that if they're going to focus on the political situation, it seems they are, with the live action trailer where they showed 3 different assassinations, then they really need to improve on it. I was talking of different campaigns for different periods. You could have a Second Punic War campaign where you can play as the Romans, Gauls, Macedonians, and Carthaginians. Then you could have a campaign where you fight as Caesar or as the Gauls, and you could have, the Greeks and other factions as well there. Then you could have a Dacian War campaign, that kind of stuff. Instead of bringing in a massive map of Europe and adding all these factions, which were not that relevant at the time, or didn't even exist at the time, I think Creative Assembly should focus on the smaller picture. Personally, my favorite campaigns in Total War are the ones, well, Alexander's campaign, Alexander Total War, Napoleon's campaigns, and the Spanish Peninsular War. Those are my favorite campaigns, but that's just my personal opinion. So yeah, those are the things I expect from Total War 2. More historical accuracy, better multiplayer in terms of lag and balance, and and I would really like to see different campaigns for different historical eras, but I'm not sure about that. On the final subject, and that's the subject of AI, which is actually quite important. They've said they're going to improve the campaign AI in terms of diplomacy and all that. We'll have to wait and see on that subject, but that's what they've stated, that they're merging the two different campaign AIs together. We'll see what happens.